Hello and good morning. Welcome to the Thursday Q&A call. Everyone is dropping in right now, but remember that in this call, it is a Q&A. It is led by you guys. So if you have questions and if there's something you need help with, either raise your hand, I can open up the mic, or you can drop it in the chat box, either one. But let me know why you're on this call. What is it that you need help with Mortgage Coach, and what I can show you or teach you today. And again, very small group. Not recognizing a lot of names, so I'm assuming a lot of you guys are new to Mortgage Coach. So raise your hand if you're new to Mortgage Coach. So a few of you guys new. So it looks like it's pretty split. Can you push some strategy templates into, and Todd, I think I still have that email from you. You know what, Todd? Email support and ask them to. I have 39 accounts that I do, so sometimes it's hard for me to get to those things. Email support at mortgagecoach.com and tell them you would like the strategy templates pushed into the account. They know how to do it too. So they will probably be more responsive than I am to it. Sorry. I know that I've seen that email request from you. Matt, I clicked allow to talk on you if you want to unmute yourself. Hi, Matt. How are you? Doesn't look like you have sound. So if you want to drop your email down in the chat box, or if you want to play with your sound and see if you can get it up and running, either one. While Matt's working on that, if anyone else have any questions they have. So I'm still having a little trouble adjusting the new home loan amount on a refinance. I have Robert's file that is new loan amount off by $1,200. I want to see if I can delete options in a file before sending. Can I jump into your account, Julio? Okay. So we're going to jump in here, and it's on Roberts. So if you want to click on Mortgage Coach in the upper left-hand corner and just hop out of that loan for me. While you're doing that, I'll talk a little bit about deleting options. You cannot delete a file or a product once you have created it over here. The only thing you can do is go into presentation and uncheck the boxes just if you have. So if you need another spot, what you'll be able to do is just go in and work on top of one of these if you have all 4 done and you know you're not going to need it. But again, you can't delete them. They'll stay in there. Just if they're unchecked, the client won't see them. So we're going to go into the current mortgage information. And when you say you're off by $1,200, is that $1,200 the remaining balance, or is that $1,200 your P&I payment? Matt, I can hear you. If you hold on a moment, I'll get to you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I'll mute myself, huh?
Okay. Okay, so here's what you did that is locking this amount. You click the auto update. Once you click that, this automatically goes to what is stated based on amortization payments and based on the information up here. Unchecking this box is going to give you the freedom to come in here and type in 585. So that's the little secret, is this is automatically, and you watch, it'll take me right back to where it was before. So having this unchecked is giving you that freedom to work in this box to be able to just type it in and update that amount. So payoff amount typically is a little higher. Yep. So that's all it is. And then if you need anything else, let me know. I'm going to advance just to save that for you. And I am out of that client for you, and I am out of your account. Matt, if you want to unmute.
Okay. All right. My question is, I want to show products with a second mortgage and a first mortgage. I
Okay.
don't know that that's possible because what I've been doing is using the contributions tab for it because it's down payment assistance.
Mm-hmm.
But the second mortgage I'm showing would have a balloon due at 30 years, and that second mortgage is due versus a forgivable second at 36 months. So in the total cost analysis, I'd show one with a contribution and one with a true second attached to it. So it can show, say, after 36 months that, what the difference is by having that no interest
Yeah, so here's
note
the
due.
deal with that. When you're doing a loan, and I'm just going to jump into a purchase and talk through it. So when you're doing a purchase with a down payment assistance program, what you're doing right now is correct, because if you do go in and you add the second, and what he's doing is he's going into closing cost details, he's adding the fee, adding it here as down payment assistance. Oops, let me find it. And then he's putting in, let's say it's a 3%, and that's how he's adding it. And this is how you're going to do it if there's no payment every single month. And the reason why is when you add a second loan, does this product have a second? Yes. There is no spot in here for you to be able to come in and put that there is no payment at all. So there has to be, at minimum, interest only payments being made every single month to reflect that money. Now, it would just come down to the conversation with the client. Unfortunately, it can't be shown as due at close. So when you are showing in that analysis area the time frames, make sure that they do know if you refinance or when the loan is closed, you still owe this money. Does that make
But
sense?
it does. It's not going to, for confirmation, there's no way to show that in the total cost analysis. Is there a way to do that in Mortgage Edge? Because I've noticed Mortgage Edge has a 80-10-10 option.
The 80-10-10, again, it's done the same way because it's the same program. The Edge is just our old technology. This is actually have more features in it. And what I would suggest is in the help button up here, upper right-hand corner, submit a request.
Yeah.
And then submit a request where there can be a no payment second.
Well, but for clarity, I can't really accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish.
No, you can't show that payoff amount or the ballooning amount at the end of the loan. You just have to be able to talk your client through it.
Because it all goes to contributions anyways. Those DPAs, no matter how you enter them, will go in the total cost analysis. Will count it as a contribution.
They'll
Correct?
count it as a contribution. However, in closing cost, when you open up the fee details, you will see the down payment assistance, and I would just highlight it.
Yeah, I understand. All right. Thank you.
Yep. Sorry, can't be of more help.
All right. Well, thanks. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so let's go up to Kelly. How do you add a realtor profile so you see both profiles in the customer presentation? So Kelly, do you have the partner area? Because some enterprises don't have the partner area. So do you have that partner area? That's the first question. I'm gonna make sure. And I'm just going to click allow to talk on you. So if you do want to just unmute.
Can you hear me?
I sure can. How are you?
Good. I got, while you were saying that, I got an email from a customer I was trying to respond to. So
sorry about that.
I'm pretty sure I'm looking at it right now. Yes, I do. I got client partner settings, help, and
Okay.
sign out.
Partner is where you're going to be able to set up those partner presentations where it's double branded. So I'm just going to go in here and open it up for you and show you. And what you do is you put in all their information. Oops, I didn't put Dave's information in there. Let's go back and pick a different one. We'll use Amy. And it's going to give you the partner information on one side and you on the other. So it's double branded. Now to do this,
How do I get that in there?
so to do it, once you click on partner, it'll start asking all about the partner. So you put in all the client partners information, you'll put in their contact information, you'll put in their images and their logo. So then it goes into the property. You'll put in the property address, information on the property. If you want to add features, you can add features onto it.
Oh, cool.
You can upload 3 images, but only 2 images will show up on the presentation. Advantage of having that 3rd image is if the realtor or your partner doesn't like the images you chose, you can quickly switch it. And then it just goes into the products. These products are set up the same way as products when you're building out a total cost analysis. So you just want products that would sell in that area, and then going into the presentation itself, I'm going to turn on all the product. Oh, this one's for seller buy down, open house. So all the products on there, then it'll start asking you about the presentation. A couple of things here, presentation name. I always try to make sure that it's in line with the marketing that your partner is doing. So if they have a certain title or a certain phrase that they're really trying to target to try to move that house, that's what I use for the presentation title.
Oh, okay.
You'll choose your images. So coming down here, I can just choose the images based on what I want to see. That one's not going to pop up. And then clicking into preview, again, adding that quote date does protect you. And then when it comes up, it's going to have both of them on there. So it's pretty easy. The only added thing is adding that to Amy. Now, let's say I want to build another one with Amy. I can go in here into my partner, search, type in Amy, click on search, and now I can use this one to start and copy it, and it's going to keep it all to her. So if I put current partner, it's going to have all of her information in it, so I don't have to come back and re-enter the contact information once I've entered it the first time.
And to be clear, the realtor has no access to this, right? I have to do it all?
That is correct. You have the power.
Okay. Sounds good, man.
All right. You're welcome. Todd, let's walk through a refi. Do you have a certain scenario in that refi that you want to work with? And I'm going to unmute you. So if you want to unmute yourself, I clicked allow to talk.
See. Yeah, so I'm in Little John right now.
Okay, let me go into your account and we can look and see what's going on. Which one is it? The MSN or the Fairway?
I'm sorry, say that again?
MSN or the Fairway? I want to say it's the Fairway one.
Oh, Fairway. Yeah, what is MSN?
I don't know. Might be someone else with your name.
Oh, my word.
So Little John. Okay, if you want to click on Mortgage Coach in the upper left corner, jump out of it for me.
Got it. Done.
All right, so we are in Little John so far. Now remember, this section up here and this section down here, only if you want it for your own information do you need to fill it in. Otherwise, it's doesn't show up anywhere on the presentation. Only the middle does.
So I put that in. I exported that out of Encompass and
that's why.
Imported it just now, just so you know. Yeah.
So this is one out of Encompass. So lower the interest rate. What is today's appraisal value?
You know what? Let's just go 700.
Okay. And then do you have this information?
First payment date. That's not going to be on the, let me grab this. she sent me her most recent mortgage.
Okay, it's not going to be on there. Have you pulled her credit?
I have, yeah.
It will be on the credit report if you look at when the date of the credit report was open, and then also give me the highest balance on that credit report for that debt.
Okay, so look at it real quick.
No problem.
Pulling it up in Encompass. Boom. So the date this was open for that, this is great. All right, I like it. Wells Fargo mortgage, open date 11/18. And then you said the high balance,
Uh-huh.
515,000.
And that's going to be the original loan amount is that high balance. Okay,
Okay.
now on this statement, the interest rate.
5.125.
So at this point, their remaining statement should be around 500.
Yeah.
Does that look right?
Yeah, that's what it says on the statement. Yeah, just a little under that, but yeah.
Yep. So, of course, until you have a payoff statement will add prepaid days of interest. So I would just leave it as is.
Okay.
Are they impounding accounts, hazard and property?
They are. Yeah. Yeah.
And do you have those amounts?
I do. Let me check down to that real quick.
Okay. And I need the monthly, not the annual.
Wells Fargo, which one? She's got two. I'm doing two houses for. Let's see. This is we'll do the Jameson. All right. So, I'm sorry. Let's see where we're at. Hazard insurance.
Hazard insurance?
So that's just going to be in escrows, right? I don't
Yep.
know. Yeah. Oh, I see. Hold on a second here. 523.46. That's too much.
That might be the annual. Let's see.
Let me look at it.
523.
Yeah, no, it's got it down under the principal. So, interesting.
Because that would be 43.62 a month.
Yeah, it's showing it under the payment though. I've got principal 661.70, interest 21.42, escrow 523, current payment. So the escrow's got the taxes and the insurance in it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's just do this and divide by 12. I'm going to show you guys a cheat. Or actually, that's the whole amount for the month, huh?
Yeah, that's the month for taxes and insurance.
We're going to put escrow, and it's 523, you said?
Uh-huh.
And what's the change?
0.46. 46,
Okay.
yeah. Thanks.
So I'm just going to put it in here as escrow and put that amount.
Oh.
Now, what we're not going to show then, if I do it this way, you can't show the prepaid, or not the prepaid, the impounds for the reserves. So that's the only disadvantage of doing this is the reserves. Now you can cushion them in, and I'll show you how to do that based on adding it in as a closing cost detail.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I have that information in there, I'm just going to go right to my product one. Copy from the current and click on OK. So I have two identical loan products. So what are you going to be doing with this loan? Are you just showing them to push it back into a 30-year, 20-year, 15-year?
Yeah, originally she just wants to lower the rate, so I'll go 30 because we're only, 2 years out. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to delete the interest rate. He has Optimal Blue, so I can click into Optimal Blue. And I won't pull your pricing, but he would be able to pull pricing from here. And then that's going to bring in the interest rate. Do you know what you quoted him?
I haven't. I'm just looking at it right now. But it'll be lower. Just do 3.5, just for, whatever.
So it's also going to pull in a product name when he does that. So then he can change it to conventional 30-year after he pulls it. It will also pull in his points or lender credit if that does apply. Closing cost details we'll add, and do you have one in here for?
Well, what I do is I do CC, conventional fee template, and I hit closing core.
Yep. And then he's going to hit his closing corp. All of this is pulling over from that address that he uploaded. Is there anything in here that it is a refi? No cash out on this one. Anything else that I should change?
Nope.
I feel like I need Jeopardy music that I can just click when I'm doing them.
Yeah, it usually doesn't take this long. That might be
Yeah,
it.
mine is because I'm running Zoom and
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
property,
yeah,
residential, is all that right?
yep.
And now it'll pull over all those fees. So once it pulls over those fees, this part I can't make changes, but once I click on OK, if you do want to make changes, you can go in here, you simply click it and make the change. Let's say that it was a purchase and, you know, the lenders or the seller is paying something, you can change it in here.
Mm.
Your APR fees are being pulled over through there, so all of that is good. Once you're happy applying it to the loan. Prepaid days of interest, are you a 5 or a 15 on a refi?
I'm a 15, yeah, because we're doing early. Yep.
Okay. And then here's where the hazard insurance and property tax are not in there
Mm.
on it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I did want to reflect that impound account down here, I can't add it here because it's grayed out. But if I come back here, I can add in a fee.
Mm. Sure.
And I don't know if we have escrows in there or impound. Let's see if they put it under impound. Nope. So let's add a custom fee. What would you want to name that fee so you know what it is?
Bulk escrow or escrow bulk, something like that. Yeah, so I get, yeah.
And then whatever your bulk escrow is, now all he has to do, I don't know why that one's in there. Now all he has to do is add that dollar amount.
Yeah.
So you can come back and add that in there. And
Sure.
that's going to make up for not having the impounds to be able to add them here.
Uh-huh.
But you're still going to be adding that escrow to that monthly payment.
Yeah.
Is there a second product you want to, or option you want to show them?
We could do a 20, just to, it'll be quick and it'll informative for anybody. So
A conventional 20-year. 20 years or second products are always easier because you're going to copy from where you've already pulled all the fees and everything. So all you really have to work with is your interest rate. I'm just going to put an imaginary interest rate for you to come in there. Whoops.
yep. Yeah.
3.
2.25 or something. All right.
And then he has that in there because all the other fees are going to pull over. Now he can go in here. You have 5 and 5 showing as short-term and long-term. Is that good, or is there something that the client is working towards financially that we should set them up for?
Well, I would do I do a 60-month and then a 10-year. I usually do a 15-year, but I know she wants to move in 10 years. So
Okay. And then on total interest payment, depending on how you're selling it and positioning it, would be what I sell here. So total net worth is going to reflect, they're going to have more total net worth because they only are in 2 years. So even paying at this rate, they're going to be paying more towards principal, and you can show that principal paid as well. So again, depending on how you position it as the loan officers, when you are positioning it, you can change that for your verbiage.
yeah, sure.
Anything else?
Yeah, total interest. No, that's great. That was a great example. That's the first refi there. So I like it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to jump out of your account. And then if you want, you can mute yourself. And I'm going to go on up here to questions. So Julio, I don't want to show the reinvestment strategy on his, but I will jump into one of my refis to show that. So Julio wants me to show the reinvestment strategy. That is in your analysis area. Once you click into the analysis area, the adjust reinvestment strategy is located here. And I don't want to go into this one. This one I need to figure out. It has some crazy numbers in there. Let's do this one. Yeah, when I start playing with them, they get crazy. Okay, so this one is current loan, a 30-year paying off a second, or a 30-year subordinating the second. So we can see here's the savings that they have automatically. So they're saving more per month on the subordination than paying off the second, because this is not reflecting that second payment in here. This is only reflecting the first. So if I want to show just principal reduction, I can come down here and I've already placed it in that amount. So let's delete it out and show you what it's going to look like without it first. So here we have the freedom point. Freedom point is how long they have to pay off. So that's the first thing you'll notice. Now I can take this money here and I can deposit it in here to see how long it will take them to pay it off. So 537, 17, and now I went from 30 years to 8.8 years. I can also jump into this to do bulk payments. Let's say they're thinking about not refinancing and they want to see, what if I just put $5,000 down on my current, how's that going to impact me? If I click on the caret, I can put my 5,000 in there. But if I add a bulk payment, I've got to turn it off. So in order to turn it off, I'm going to add a 0 line and save it. So now we can see, even refinancing, if they put that 5,000 down, they're still going to be paying less here with making that principal payment. So any questions on that top? And if you want, you can raise your hand if you do have a question on it. I can unmute you.
I just unmuted myself.
Good.
So, hey, by the way, I want to tell you, Robert imported those strategy templates for me already. So thank you. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. I
Very
told
quick.
you they're much faster than I am.
That's awesome. Hey, so is this the best way to sell a refinance, is maybe just do the reinvestment strategy? So I could do the, you know, whatever 30-20 and, but just show the reinvestment on of the savings on the 30. Is that, so I do current 30-20, but
Yep.
the reinvestment.
It is a great way to, because you'll find the more frequently you get feedback from clients is they're like, well, I don't want to roll back to a 30-year and pay all that extra interest, even though their interest rate might be considerably lower. And truth be known, it might, their break-even point might be 8 months, 9 months. The mentality of a client is, I am paying back so much more interest if I spread it back over 30 years than if I am to not do that. And I mean, in the end, if they make the payments of the minimum payment, yeah, they're going to pay more interest over the time of the loan. But truth be known, you should be teaching them, you know what, let's even just keep it at the same level. So let's say you're only going to put 300 towards it. Let's do 350. And I'm still going to have savings up here based on that. And I've got to remove this 5,000 so we can see that true savings. So you're still going to see the savings up here. You should. Let's jump out. Okay, it's stuck. So you would see the savings of the amount still up here that they would be saving. So you could then tell them, based on this scenario, you're still going to be able to save yourself money every month. However, 5,000 stuck. Let's go back there. And
Might be your internet, just not.
yeah, and I might not be caught up yet. Yeah, it's not liking me. There we go. That's closer. So now when I go in here and I put the 350 in here, then it's going to reflect the savings up here in this window. And yeah, my internet's being crazy, but you can see now I'm paying it off in the same time frame. So for that client, I'm able to go in and tell them, you know, you can make a lower payment at this point, and making that lower payment, and it would be like $200 here that they would still be saving every month that they can apply towards something else.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a much better way to do it. And then you're also, because of that payment being accelerated, their savings over the 60 months, that break-even point is going to come down. And to find that break-even point, this one's pretty close. All I'm going to do is come in here and adjust my short-term savings month. So between 5 and 6 months is my break-even point on both of these loan scenarios. So as long as they're paying for 6 months, cost-wise, they are now starting to pay less each month towards the refinance option than the current loan.
Wait, will you just do that again? Because I was always doing the break-even point through math, but you just use this for it.
Yeah. So normally you like using 60 here.
Yeah.
So when you show 60, they're going to show a lot of savings here.
Yeah.
So if I want to find the break-even point, my job is to find the spot where the upper and the lower switch places here.
Oh.
So when I come over here, if I put 5 in there, you'll see it goes below the line. If I put 6, it now becomes a savings.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. Back to the short term. Couldn't figure out why there were so few. That makes sense. All right.
Yeah. So that's where
Yeah.
I use that one at.
Nice.
You're welcome.
All right. Boom.
Any other questions on that one? All right, let's go back in here. So let's say we have that $200 still here and we want to show them investing. We can come down here. I'm going to say a 6% return and we're going to invest that extra $200. So now not only am I showing them how to pay off debt up here faster and accelerate that payment, but now I'm showing them how to build an extra layer of comfort for their family by having an account that's more liquid than their house. So my suggestion is always not to do a full principal reduction, just to do enough of a reduction where I'm getting them down to a similar payoff point, and then teaching them how to use that extra money in order to build credit. If they have debt, that would be my suggestion. You're going to take that $200,000 and apply it towards your debt till your debt is paid off. So I'm really going to talk it through to the client based on knowing their situation, based on knowing what's going on with them in order for them to put themselves in a better financial position. So those are the two most used. This one here is actually connected to the savings area in the affordability or in the assumption, no, affordability. So in the affordability, this savings area, if I was to put 100,000 in here, and let's say they're getting 0.25, this is a checking account, then what you're going to see is any money not used for our closing is then pulled over and would be remaining balance here at the 0.25. So I could show putting extra money into that account to build up, their savings account. I don't like using this unless I'm doing a retirement account and they're pulling cash out of the retirement account for a purchase. And that's when I like using this, because then I can show them how to build that retirement account back up. So that is where I would use that at. I wouldn't ever put in a savings amount that they're pulling out of the savings, because that money is so liquid that we know it's not going to be there after they sell that home. They're going to be buying a new car. They're going to be buying furniture. They're going to go on a vacation and celebrate. Like, people don't leave that money in there unless they're very, very disciplined. Any questions on this scenario or on any of the reinvestment strategy area?
Well, again, so you've got the 3 sections, and you can combine section 1 and section 2, or section 1 and section 3.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Yep.
how I'm reading that?
You can do all 3 of these if you want. They all will work on the presentation at the same time.
Okay.
So let's go into, I'm going to put an amount in here just so we can go in and look at it on. So when you're looking at it and you click into more information, it's under the reinvestment section, but you'll see all 3 sections show up here. And then the other place you'll see it is if you're showing net worth here, you'll see it showing up as building the investment accounts. Here's another investment account, and then their total based on those scenarios. So you can get very strategic once you know how to work that window. and the questions that you need to be asking the clients based on using that reinvestment tool.
So again, though, what's the difference between savings and investment? I mean, besides the interest rate?
The savings is tied to in here, so when you're using it in this presentation, it's going to subtract the cash to close.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
if you're leveraging it to close a purchase,
Yeah.
and that's when you want to use it, and that's why I say I only use like a 401k if they're
I
pulling
see.
from there.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Sure. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question too while I got you on here. I don't understand that there's a minimum payment, maximum payment. How do you use that? What is that for?
That is actually on in this right here. This is if you're talking through the client and you want somewhere that you want to just plug in some information so you remember it later based on their comfort level. It doesn't reflect anything in the presentation.
Okay, thanks. Perfect. That's the clarity. Okay.
Anyone else, any questions?
I do, if I may.
Yep, absolutely.
Hi, I have a client that I would like, and again, mind you, I'm not so new, but I've not been using this thing because it's been taking me way too long. And I hear people that are doing it in like 5-6 minutes, done, presentation. So I would like to take a situation and see you doing it because I see you're like swimming and jumping from one to the other. They have a loan that has about 9 more years left on the mortgage. They've been offered by the bank to refinance them into a 10-year loan. I think it's a mistake with the rates the way that they are so low right now.
Okay, let's fill that out.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna.
My account, and if you create it, then I can go through it.
You want me to jump in your account?
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
RACHELI. REFAEL.
And I'm just gonna name it sample client, then you can come back and rename it.
Sure.
So placing in the name, placing in the phone number. And then this is going to be refi. Contact information. Are you with an enterprise? Do you have Closing Corp or?
Yeah, we do. We do.
So I'm just going to put what state?
Florida. Florida.
And zip code.
33305.
And this is the minimum you would need in order for you to use those integrations.
Okay.
I'm just going to click other because that will make it a refi scenario for me. Do you know their current property value?
It is 430.
And do you know what the first payment date was on the loan?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
So if you
if they had, I think that they had a 15 years and they have 9 left, so probably 6 years ago they started.
Okay, so let's just do a random date 6 years ago.
2014.
And do you know about how much the original loan?
I don't. The interest rate is 4.375.
How much they owe?
217.
So 217. So I'm going to show you how to back it out so you can get a roundabout their original loan amount. If I put 230 in here, then, and it was a 15-year.
I think it was 15, yes.
So I am very close. Let's do 245. Oh, now we're, actually it's 345. 1, 2, 3. So we're
I'm trying to understand why you're going there to find out the original loan amount.
Because this will auto-populate to here. So they were probably 340, and now we're at 217, 156.
You're pretty close, yeah.
Their P&I payment about 2566. So that is how we know now that they did do a 15-year and everything is pretty close. So it's good enough for you to be able to move forward. Now you can, if you do have a payoff amount, just come in and put that exact payoff amount in here.
There's 217 for now that, well, actually, it's not actually 217 because they are including some closing costs for them.
Oh yeah. So let's go
But the
ahead.
total loan will be 217.
Okay, so let's go ahead and put this lower. About how much is your closing cost?
I would say probably including the prepaids, probably about 9.
Okay, so we're going to put this 208. I'm cushioning it so we can add your closing costs to it, and that
Okay.
way it comes out around the same 217 point.
Okay.
Do you know the actual hazard insurance and property tax for the month?
I do not, because they didn't, this was not even going into the equation.
Okay, so they might not even be impounding. It was a 15-year. So first thing I'm going to do is, are you rolling it into a 10-year, you said?
They got an offer for 10 years, which I think it's a mistake, but I want to show them at 10 years because they want from them 3.375 rates, where I can do it possibly for a little bit less.
Okay, so we're going to copy the current. We're going to come down here, change it to a 10-year. You would run your pricing. And I'm just going to run it based on perfect scenario. And you said, what are you?
What am I, what?
Price-wise, what did you say you could offer them?
Fanny, probably 3.125.
Okay, so I'm not going to pull that in. I'm just going to put 3.125 in there. And once you place that in there, then I can go pull closing cost. And this would be conventional refi. Yours has all of the fees in there, but if you don't want them, you could delete them and do closing corp. I'm just going to apply that. You can always come back and adjust those.
Okay.
Are you having them pay any points?
1
point. Prepaid days of interest, 5, 15.
15.
And they don't have an impound account. So I'm just now going to go into closing costs and add all the fees to the loan, or go into Mortgage Coach. And then I'm going to add the points to the loan and the prepaid days of interest to the loan. So now we have that scenario showing them. Now their payment's going up pretty considerably. Are they aware that the payment will be going up?
The payment is going to be less right now. The payment right now is 22, let me look at it, 2134. That's what they're offering to them. So why is it that much of a difference?
Let's see.
They're offering 217 loan, 3.39, a payment of 2134. There's no impounds into that loan.
Yeah, mine is doing funny things. I'm in a demo account, and sometimes that demo account starts pulling funny numbers. So it's actually showing the current loan higher than this loan, so the payment would be lower. However, it's not reflecting it in here. I'm going to come back here and look really quick.
Can I put the new one that they're being offered, which is the 10 years? I just went to my calculator, and it's 2134, and show them this one, what it is, and then do the other one where I think that they should do the 30 years or the 15 years, but then invest the difference of the payment and see what happens in 10 years and see what happened in 15 years. I think they're going to be much, much better financially.
Yeah, let me go back in and play with this after the
Mhm.
call because some reason it's not pulling over my correct loan amount into here is what's going on.
Okay.
So for some reason, it should be pulling over the 208 here to start with. Let's see if it'll let me just change it. Okay,
Here it is. Okay.
now let's try this again. 1.15 days,
Mm-hmm. We're adding those.
adding that back to the loan. Yeah, see, my software is doing something funny.
It's adding $9,000 to, but why is the?
Yeah, it should be adding $9,000 here, but
Mhm.
I think it's, this is stuck somewhere, that number, and I don't know where it's pulling it from.
Okay.
So let me come back into this. I'm going to jot your name down so I can come back in and play with it to figure out what's going on
Mhm.
for myself.
So would you be able to just let me know, or how?
Yep, I will email
Okay.
you and let you know.
Excellent. I really, really appreciate it. And I would like to get to the point that I can do those comparison in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's
and the comparison, I mean, it's totally doable. You just have to practice.
Mhm.
And most people, what I tell people is, it's like when you shoot that first basketball, it doesn't go right in. You have to stay out there and you have to keep practicing till it's consistent. That's
Mhm.
with any technology, not just Mortgage Coach, because technology, when you go into a software, it doesn't change the format of the software. That doesn't change. They might add a feature here or there, but the foundation stays the same. So, you know, it's just going in and practicing.
Okay. I guess I just need to keep on doing it over and over, even do ones that I've done before
Yep.
and left alone because I just got frustrated.
Yep, that is exactly what people do in order to really become good at it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Robert, I unmuted you if you want to jump in.
Yeah. Question for you. And when you were displaying the scenario you were just doing right now,
Uh-huh.
it was displaying the the payments, not necessarily the difference.
Mm-hmm.
How did you do that? Because I'm usually displaying only the savings on the charts instead of displaying the payment next to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is actually in our software. It'll show the payments inside, but as soon as you go to the presentation, you only have the choice to show the savings.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
So,
that's a correction we need to do in the future. It's
'Cause
good
I
to
think,
see the payment.
yeah, I think people sometimes get caught up in they see the savings, but when you put it next to their current payment visually on a chart, because I think it's a
uh-huh.
visual thing, I think it really grabs them, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I always tell people highlight the payment over here, and then you can talk to it over here when you're showing the actual numbers.
Gotcha. Okay,
So,
thank you. I didn't know if there was something I wasn't doing because I saw it. I was like, that's what I want. And all of a sudden, you
yeah.
told me different.
Nope.
All
Sorry.
right. All
See,
right. Thank
Tina,
you.
what I've been doing on that is and I don't know if I should, but I've been cutting and pasting that payment page, that summary,
Uh-huh.
putting it in the body of the email, and then
I
sending
love
the
using
link.
this in the body of the email. So if you guys are not putting this in your email when you send it out, it is a great way for you to grab the attention of the client, and then underneath, click here in order to see more about your analysis or however you want to word it based on the verbiage you use with the client.
Yeah, and I don't know if you get this feedback too, because I found when I started sending these out, it's almost too much. Like it's confusing them and a little bit, and I'm not that great. So if I started to, copy and paste into the body of the email just the basic information, and
Yeah,
then
we
So,
put
get
the
a
option to
lot of
go deeper.
feedback on being too much from clients. As much as we used to. We used to get that a lot, but I think as people are becoming more techy, we're hearing it a lot less. And Robert, did
No-
you have something else?
Yeah, I wanted to ask that gentleman, is he just cutting and pasting the monthly display of the graphs or the whole scenario on the left, on the right side?
Well, I haven't done the scenario on the right side, but after listening to Tina, maybe there would be a time to do that if I was clear about the strategy I was selling in the future.
Yeah.
But I've just been doing that summary page for the payment because, like you, I mean, people want to know what they're paying. So if I put that into the body of the email and say, here's the basic, but there's some great long-term savings information in here, and I'd love to walk through it with you. Go ahead and take a look, and then, I've got it. Yeah.
And I've encountered, especially with leads that you just met, sometimes it's overwhelming to them, and you have to make it simple so you can continue the conversation at a later point to create that rapport. So initially you need something to catch them, to catch their attention, and then get into the presentation. And I think showing the payment differences, I think would make them want to click. We're like, wow, they can see the number. It's easy math to look at the payment differences.
Yeah, and when I do the whole graph to show the whole graph is when I'm showing the debt to income ratio. Because it clearly defines how it's helping them out.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's when I would copy it, is if I'm focused on that debt to income ratio.
Got it. It's a good
Is there
idea.
like a summary page like where you are right now that also show the potential saving? Because I come from the financial arena and I've been using the difference between 30 and 15 years and showing people how you invest the difference of the payment over time. And we've done it over many, many, many years, so 15 years. Every time you come so much ahead with hundreds of thousands in your account after 15 years, and then you can choose to pay off the loan, or you let the account start paying the loan. You stop making it.
Yeah, and that's using the reinvestment tool. When you're in,
Is there like a summary of the reinvestment tool rather than the whole presentation?
if you click in down here, it does give a summary of the break-even points based on the time frame. So your investments are down here.
Thank you.
So I do have another question that I did want to get to, lender credit. I have a couple of people asking me that today. Lender credit's pretty easy. You go into the product, and there's a couple of places you can do a lender credit. You could add negative points. This will then be a lender credit, and you'll be able to see that amount over here on the points. Or you can go in here and you can add in contribution. So add fee, contribution, add in the amount of the contribution, and then you can choose. So this would also work for a seller credit. So lender or seller can be added in that contribution. Applying it to the loan, where you're going to see it collected is in this contribution. And the reason why is once you put it on there, we don't want to impact the APR fees, because lender credits are not supposed to touch those APR fees. They can only touch the non-APR fees. So it has to be shown a certain way. Any questions on that lender credit?
Is my mic open?
Yep.
Oh, question. So does it make a difference how you label it, whether there is contribution or lender concessions? Does it make a difference?
Nope, doesn't make a difference. I think
in regards to how it affects the APR fees, you know what I mean, which you just discussed. Because I usually use lender concessions as the label.
It affects it the same way.
That's
lender contribution.
Okay.
So they're both in there. Any other questions? Let me go in and make sure I've answered all the questions that have been thrown at me today. If you do have another question, you can drop it in the chat, or if your mic's not unmuted, you can raise your hand and I can unmute your mic. It looks like everyone is good. We are 5 minutes left, so if you do have a question, I will stick around for a few more minutes. If you don't have a question, feel free to jump off if you have had enough learning today. And remember, if you want a copy of the presentation, email me, tina@mortgagecoach.com, to request a copy of the presentation. I will not remember if you drop it into the chat box. And you're welcome to everyone saying thank you. I do appreciate your time. I hope that this is helpful for you guys in order to help you guys move your business forward.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Email tina@mortgagecoach.com. So I'm going to drop it down in there for you.
Thanks, Tina. That was really helpful. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
See you
Have a
next
great
week.
day.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, looks like everyone's good. Bye-bye again.